got a stack of layouts to share with you today. I do have several layouts here that do not have process videos, so I'll call those out when I get to them. All of the process videos will be linked in the description box below if you want to see how any of these layouts came together. In this stack, I also share two bonus layouts I created with the Our Story Matters collection from my most recent series. So let me stack these up and we'll jump right in. Here's one of my go-to designs. What I mean by that is the foundation or the background is a really easy design, and then you can build up the layout however you want. In this case, I've got an 8.5 by 11 sheet layered on top of a 6 by 12 paper I pulled out of my scrap drawer. I added two 3 by 4 photos and a large title, a lot of journaling typed up on vellum, and some flower die cuts. Super easy, fast, and a quick page. With this kind of a foundation, you can do all kinds of things. Change out the cardstock for pattern paper. Use an enlarged photo. Change the orientation such that the 6 by 12 paper is vertical down the page and the 8.5 by 11 sheet is horizontal. Use up an ephemera pack by layering die cuts all the way down both sides of the smaller paper. So many different options. I also liked working on a 8.5 by 11 size while still having a full 12 by 12 background. This is not a layout, but a fun memorabilia pocket. I added this fun puffy sticker after I finished the process video. I think I picked this up at Michael's many years ago, and I've had it in my stash waiting for the right project. I used a powder tool, I think I have it right here, to the sticky side so that it's no longer sticky. I thought it matched the paper perfectly. I made this pocket for all of the memorabilia that I kept from a trip to Key West. I love how this turned out. I love the crisscross design. The pattern paper is still showing, but gives you room to tuck things in at different angles and levels. I like creating pockets like this. I don't know about you, but sometimes I have a hard time adding memorabilia to a layout because the memorabilia isn't always as aesthetically pleasing. I love having all of the stuff, but unless I work really hard to create a design that incorporates the things I'm saving, I don't always want to include the stuff directly to the layout. So a pocket page like this is a great solution. I will slip this into a page protector along with the layouts from this trip. And if I want to look at everything, it just slides back out of the pocket. Here, I used an older Simple Stories collection to document a girls' night out. I love the colors and I'm so happy with how this one turned out, but there is no process video for this layout. My journaling is behind this photo. One of the things I often talk about in my process videos is that I don't always leave enough room for journaling, or at least all of the journaling I want to write. There are places on this layout where I could have added a couple of sentences, but I had more to say, so I just tucked it behind the photo. So many fun details on this one. I did use the ephemera pack that came with the collection. I added a few circle die cuts and some labels. The theme was home and family, so most of the pieces didn't really work. I created my title with the slim alphabet dies from Photoplay. I love the contrast of the pink letters against the red photo mat. These spiral flowers are from Altenew. I have the stamp set and the coordinating dies. It's something different. They're pretty, and I stamped the spiral flowers in three different colors. I added some paper flowers from my stash, and I also added some old school word stickers from a Seven Gypsies sticker set. We were celebrating my birthday a few days early, and the restaurant had a dock on this pretty lake, and there was a full moon. Perfect night for selfies. This layout is one of my favorites in this stack. These photos are from a concert at a local bar, so I wanted to create a fun mood with this layout. The background paper has stars, and I wanted to bring some stars into the layout. So I used some Nouveau embellishment mousse in burnished bronze over a stencil to add them. I also added some black ink splatters over top. I used an older Simple Stories boy collection. The colors and the star motif were perfect for the concert vibe I wanted here. The words totally and awesome came from the foam sticker set for this collection. I love pre made titles. This is a Bon Jovi tribute band, so I thought the words totally awesome were perfect 80s lingo. I also added some hand stitching around the denim paper and added enamel dots. Some of the enamel dots have stickles painted on them, so lots of mixed media touches with this one. This is one of my favorite backgrounds to push everything into one of the corners so you can still see the pattern on the background paper. I have another layout in this stack with the same treatment, but it looks completely different. Here's a two-page layout I created to document our most recent hurricane experience. I used some Simple Stories Essentials color palette ephemera on this one. The colors match the papers perfectly. I think these papers were from a Park Lane paper pad from Joanne. If I recall, this was one of the first layouts I created after I converted my stash of ephemera and die cuts into my new system. It was so easy to flip the pages quickly and find florals in the colors that I needed. If you're new to my channel and want to check out my new die cut system, I'll leave that video linked in the description box below. The subject of the layout wasn't all that much fun, but I chose patterns and colors that felt homey to me. We were very lucky to get to the other side of the storm with no damage. The foundation of this layout is a mirror design, in that I laid out the papers on one side and just repeated the same design on the other page. The measurements are a little bit different because the photo sizes on each page are different. I also pulled out my wood veneer stash and used some fun fabric hearts. So this page was also a stash buster because there are several different collections represented. This was a fun layout to make. I love it when my two-page layouts turn out okay. I'll admit that two-page layouts are not my favorite layouts to make, but I always love them when the layout is complete. There is no process video for this one. I took these photos standing in my backyard of the United States Air Force Thunderbirds. We moved into our house in March of 2022, and in October, we experienced our first air show. We live near an airport that hosts a big air show every year. My husband and I were both super excited when we realized we can watch half of the air show from our backyard. That's where the title came from. This was a fun design. I wasn't sure how to organize these photos because I had two with planes going in the same direction, and in the third photo, they are going in the opposite direction. So I decided to work the direction into the design and set this up like a visual Z shape. I have a set of Tim Holtz hexagon dies and use them to cut hexagons from some scrap papers. I also added some film strips from 49 in Market. The die cut ticket, the phrase that says the story of today, and the circle die cut are all from 49 in Market. And the blue puffy stickers are from Bella Boulevard. The Blue Angels were here at this year's show in April, so I'll be doing another air show layout soon. Here's a layout I created with a page kit I made during one of my collection breakdown videos. These papers are from Echo Park's Little Dreamer Girl collection. I have so much fun with the collection teardown videos. I know that breaking collections apart is not for everyone, though. When I put these papers together, it inspired me to go find a rainbow picture and scrapbook with these papers immediately. Can anyone relate? There is a rainbow in this photo, but I don't think you can see it well on camera. We see rainbows all the time, and I always have random rainbow photos, but I don't always scrapbook them, and these papers gave me a really good excuse to do so. This is a quick design of just layering up blocks of paper. I added some water to the edges of the top papers and just stressed the edges a bit. There isn't much going on with this design, so I felt like the treatment added some additional texture and detail. I used this background paper in a stack to mount my photos, so I did cut the background paper to cut that out. I pulled a few die cuts from Coco Vanilla Studios' Sun Kiss collection, and they worked perfectly. And the glitter stars I had in my stash matched back to the lime green paper in the background. I love it when a layout comes together quickly and easily like this. I've been wanting to do a layout like this about our zodiac signs for a long time. It's one of those about us kind of topics that's fun and different. I have an ongoing list of layouts I want to create, and I don't always have photos to go along with the ideas. So every once in a while, I'll go through that list and try to pair the layout idea with random pictures that don't necessarily have stories attached to them. I've started keeping track of these ideas in Notion, and it's working really well for me. Has anyone else ever used Notion to help organize their scrappy life? I just started using it and I feel like it's going to be a game changer in helping me stay organized and on top of my scrapbooking. But that's a tangent for another day. Let's focus on this layout. The die cuts I used are actually from a clip art set that we're selling in our Etsy shop. I will link our shop in the description box below. I uploaded the clip art into the Silhouette software, added a sticker outline, and used the print and cut feature. I also created the Pisces and Capricorn titles and cut them with my silhouette. I fell in love with this background paper from Graphic 45's Life is Abundant collection. It's the January paper. I cut the big circle from a Vicky Boone paper and it has a nice watercolor effect. The rest of the papers are scraps I pulled from the scrap drawer, and I pulled out my flower collection and added a few Prima flowers. I love this layout. It's the first layout I added our clip art to, so it's very special to me. Here's the only Christmas layout that I completed in July this year. There's no process video for this layout. I always try to create 3 or 4 layouts in July from Christmas to help me catch up with our holiday photos. I do not usually participate in any of the daily December projects. I just keep track of our holiday photos in a 12 by 12 holiday album. So it helps me to pull out all of the Christmas stuff and scrapbook our holiday photos in the middle of summer. And I can also figure out what supplies I need to buy for the upcoming year as all of the Christmas collections start showing up by the end of summer. But July was super busy and I didn't get any Christmas scrapbooking done other than this 2-pager. These photos are from our last visit to the Magic Kingdom before our season passes expired. It's so fun to visit the Disney parks when they have all of the holiday decorations out. The main floral paper on the bottom is from Cartabella, and the wood green paper is from Echo Park. I also used one of my printables that I sell in my shop. That's where all of these red labels came from, along with the phrase that says Life in Pictures. I pulled out a lot of embellishments from my stash. There's a random assortment of die cuts and wood veneer and stickers, and I added my journaling to the labels. I even pulled out a roller date stamp to get the date on there. Here's the first layout I completed for my August series, where I scrapbooked 4 layouts using page kits I created when I broke down the Our Story Matters collection from Echo Park. But before I show the layouts, I want to share the pile of scraps I have left over after using this kit for all of the layouts and the 2 bonus layouts I'm about to share. This is it. This is what's left. There's still plenty of paper here to create more layouts, though. There's a few blocks that could get stacked, and there's squares and circles. I still have a couple of sheets of paper from Our Story Matters that I purchased before I bought the collection kit. So I'm going to keep the scrap papers and all the stickers and ephemera together so that I have it to use with the last four sheets of paper. I thought I would be thoroughly sick of this collection by now, but I still love it. This is the first layout in the series. I won't spend a ton of time on these because I just shared them all through August. There are process videos for each of these, and there's a sketch bundle that comes with some bonus sketch options. I love this one. I used lots of pattern paper here and embellished a 4x6 card. I added embellishments around the photo and added journaling strips to tell the story. There was a 4x6 card on the cut apart sheet that had labels in all of the colors from the collection. I cut that up and added one or two labels to each layout. I added the date to the green label here. Here's the second layout I created with this collection. This is my husband with his niece. I loved all of the Polaroid stickers and the die cuts in this collection and thought it would be fun to get a bunch of them on one layout. That is what inspired this design. I still need to add their names to the blue label down here, but I wanted to get this recorded first. I'll also add the date. These photos were taken 2 days before our wedding. There's no journaling on the layout, but I did leave pocket space behind this layer to add journaling. I have a longer story to tell about this moment and what it meant to us. In this series, using up this collection pack, I made the effort to use a lot of the stickers and ephemera made for the collection. That's not how I generally scrapbook. I tend to buy supplies because I like them. I don't buy things just because I bought some of the papers. I'm not a big collection scrapbooker, so I tend to mix and match a lot. I use stickers from one collection and die cuts from another and papers from a different company. But I really did have fun creating with all of the stickers from the collection and building my clusters with die cuts and stickers and brads that all coordinated. And I added more stuff to these layouts than I normally do. So these layouts are a little more embellished. I had it all in front of me. I might as well use as much of it as I can. I certainly saved time because I wasn't searching through my stash to find all the things. I love how the photos pop against the dark background. This is another layout in the stack where I pushed the main layout to the bottom corner so that more of the background pattern paper would show. This is the third layout I created with the collection. In the process video, I talk about scrapbooking with lower quality photos and how the rest of the design was strategic to fill in the details. I really wanted the heart paper in the background to show, so I cut my background cardstock to 10 by 10 inches, and that didn't leave a ton of room for these photos and everything else. But I still love how it turned out. There's not much going on with the photos, so I built the rest of the layout with color and interest. I added some stenciling to the background to help lead the eye to the main clusters, and I also added some stamping behind the photos to give some grounding to the flower stickers that I added. This is the one layout in the series where I added my own title. There weren't any sticker titles that worked for this layout, and this is the only one that I had a specific title in mind. I did use the pink block stickers from the sticker book though. Some of the elements are up on foam tape. I'm not sure that comes through on camera. I added my journaling to a tag from the frames and tags ephemera pack and placed it behind a photo. Here's the fourth layout I made with this collection. When I do a series, I always like to have a two-page layout. I don't create a ton of two-page layouts. I usually only have two or three photos, and one page is enough space. In this process video, I do talk about how fun it was to add some of the cards from the cut apart sheets to this layout. When I'm using 3 photos on a one-page layout, there isn't much room to add in cards like this. But my photos here are smaller, and I specifically designed this layout to add in 2 larger cards and a few of the 2x2 cut aparts. I changed my original design a bit to add this larger block of floral paper to help support the card and the bigger cluster on this page. And it balances the other side that has the journaling and title and memorabilia. I kept the flight card and the menu card from this brewery and added them to my layout behind the journaling card. Because I challenged myself to add in the cards, I created a design that I wouldn't have otherwise made, and I love the results. Whenever I need inspiration for 2-page layouts, I turn to Scrapbook Generation. Allison Davis creates awesome 2-page layouts. I always feel like I make better 2-page layouts when I study hers. This layout was absolutely inspired by several of Allison's pages. I loved the blocks of paper span the vertical while all of the photos and the journaling are arranged horizontally. In the future, I'm going to pay more attention to the cut aparts and start challenging myself to use them in layouts like this more often. Here's the first bonus layout I made with the leftovers from the collection. Super simple design, just using strips of pattern paper in the background. This is a candid everyday photo of me and my husband with my dad. There was a perfect phrase die cut from the collection that says, "Everyday adventures matter most," and that became my title. Depending on how you orient the photos, not all of the strips need to be full length. 2 of my strips are just scraps tucked behind the photo to look like full length strips. One of the border stickers goes horizontally to give me a shelf for my photo and the embellishments. And once again, because I had so many stickers and die cuts left over, I just kept adding and building. And I used one of the journaling cards to handwrite a little journaling. Here's the second bonus layout I created with the leftovers. I love me a nice grid. Anytime you have small leftovers, you can always cut the pieces into shapes and make a grid. This will be the intro page in the scrapbook for our layouts together after we got married. I organized my layouts in the Library of Memory style, and this will go in our first Us album. This is one of the photos I printed but never used in the mini album I made with all of our wedding pictures. Other than that mini album, I haven't even created any 12 by 12 layouts from our wedding yet. But I'm in no hurry. There's always so many different things to scrapbook. I know I'll get to them eventually. But this was fun to make. The colors in this collection worked perfectly. I used more tags and one of the hot air balloon stickers, more words from the sticker book, and I got to use another title from the sticker sheet, along with another Polaroid banner. No journaling here because it's an intro page to our 12 by 12 album. As I shared earlier, there are more scraps left over, but this is the last layout I'm making from the full collection kit. It wasn't really my intention to kill the collection and to use every last bit of it, but I'm very happy with my results and how far I got. Thanks so much for joining me today. See you next time.